In 1936, Irving Charlton donated 210 acres of land to Barry County, Michigan, for the purpose of establishing a park and museum. While he never envisioned a village being constructed here, this park depicts the day-to-day life that an early inhabitant of the county might have experienced. The buildings here were built in varying years during the mid to late 1800s and donated to the park, who used them to construct this village. I came here while scouting for potential photo locations, not expecting to film anything, but I was so impressed with what I saw that I came back the next day to make a video showcasing this village. And don't worry, there will still be some photography at the end. Let's get started. So I came out here yesterday and I just was scouting this area because I thought that could make kind of a cool shot for maybe a sunrise photo. And it turns out that there was a gas and steam club convention out here, so there were a ton of tractors all over this field. Basically tractors and steam engines. It was pretty cool. All the buildings were open, but there's a lot of people, and I didn't bring my GoPro. I just filmed a little bit on my phone because that's all I really had with me. But now I see that it looks like a kind of a cool place for a tour, so I think I'm going to just show you guys around as I kind of explore. Only half the park is open today, so I can't go everywhere, but I'm going to get what I can. So the first location here is going to be the Bristol Inn. Stagecoach shop, livery tavern, post office. You see the sign right here. Bristol Inn. So a lot of this is, as you can see, roped off. So we have this like a old heater right here, like a wood burning stove. I can't tell what that is in the back over there. Little dining table here with a lamp on it and an organ in the back. Pretty cool. This almost looks like kind of a main entertainment room, almost like a set up like a bar, really. And it's kind of got a bar over here and a couple tables here that people could sit at. I mean, they did say it was a tavern. It's just a little weird to think of a tavern as something that's inside a house. Homemade sour mash. That's cool. So here we come to the kitchen. You don't see workmanship like that anymore. Although maybe you do. I don't know. I haven't tried to buy a wood burning stove. Maybe they still make those. Looks like another kitchen back here. A massive stove. Look at that thing. It says Majestic Manufacturing Company, St. Louis. Have some plates. Look at all these artifacts. Yeah, that's so cool. Not a lot to see down in the bottom level here though, right? But there was an upstairs. So you have another roped off area bedroom here into a little open area, the upstairs open area, I suppose. Washroom here, shaving stand in the back, a little wash basin there. Toilet with a bucket in it. I think this is a grandfather clock. It's kind of small though, so maybe it's like a grandmother clock. Another bedroom. The upstairs is closed off. And now we have the other side of the upstairs communal area with another wood burning stove area. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's a really interesting house to explore. I'm looking down right now because of the steps. I don't want to trip. There's also a ton of mosquitoes here, guys. It's not fun to walk around. So next up on our tour, we've got a little garden here and a chicken coop in the background. Chicken coop's locked up, so I'm not even going to bother. And here's the Carpenter Shop, which is kind of cool. It's got some tools out on the doors here. Some saws. More saws, looks like. And then in here, we've got everything that you would need to be a carpenter or a cooper back in probably the early 1900s. You can see just a ton of stuff. A lot of axes, looks like some picks. But I don't even know what half of these things are. They're really cool stained glass window over here, but it looks like it's kind of blown out a little bit on my video. Now this here is really cool. I don't know if this was originally supposed to be just outside or if it was in a building, but this is a jail cell. See, it says E.T. Barnum Iron Works, manufacturers of jail cells, Detroit, Michigan. How would you guys like to be stuck sitting in this? I mean, if this is how it was supposed to be, if it was outside like this, you'd just be sitting in this jail and the public could come by and see you sitting in there. Like, look at that. That's your bench and your bed. While doing some research for this video, I came across this rare book and manuscript dealer that has a listing for an illustrated catalog of E.T. Barnum's jail cells, which shows here that they were established in 1866 and that they made a number of custom-made cells and cages in various sizes to meet a wide range of needs. So we pull up this catalog here, we can see the front has a somewhat similar cell to what we saw at this park. Here's an interior of a jail room. Here are quite a few cages put together, which would probably be like the inside of a small local jail. Looks like some beds, handcuffs. So yeah, I thought it was interesting because a lot of us have heard of P.T. Barnum, right, for the circus, but I've never heard of E.T. Barnum. Now we're gonna go over to the Blacksmith Shop. Cool little trash can here. It's a little liner inside of a barrel. I like that. Adds to the period piece time. So we're coming into the Blacksmith Shop now. Now over here, I'm not sure what these barrels and this large table would have been used for. A lot of wheels back here too, which seem like something you wouldn't really expect a blacksmith to have. That seems like it'd be more in the carpentry shop. But over here, this is where the goods are. I assume that's the basin for quenching things, and that would be the forge right here with our anvil and a massive bellows. So if you see the whole thing together, you've got the massive bellows right here, the anvil, the forge, and where I assume they quench their very hot weaponry or tools. Small building right here is the Barber Shop, if it isn't obvious from the spiral red and blue thing. So you open the door and there's a display of cigars and straight razors, which is kind of neat to see those straight razors. And then behind here we have some barbicide, Osage rub, tonic cream, and just some other old bottles and artifacts. Barber's chair, another barber's chair, some cups, a Board of Examiners registered barber license. Then back here we have a shoe shine room and a bath. And what the brochure said is that this bath was used by traveling salesmen when they wanted to clean up after a long journey. Safety always. That is a good motto. So that's the barbershop, guys. Pretty small compared to what we see today, right? Next door, we have the seamstress shop. So right away coming in, we have a room with a bed and a loom in it. A bedroom dresser over here, old style rocking chair, and the loom. Coming out to the main room here, we have a cabinet, a little writing desk slash dresser, and another really cool wood-burning stove. We come over here to what must have been the main area for the seamstress stuff. Looks really quite small. Couple mannequins here, couple probably reproduction outfits. And back here, this is going to be really hard to see on the GoPro because it's so dark and I didn't bring a flashlight, but it looks like another stove of some sort here. There's an iron right there, and there's a tea kettle right there, so this might have been for making food during a lunch break or something. And then back here, going to be really hard to see again as well, but there's just another dresser of some sort and something. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's inside of it. It looks like cups of some sort. So here we're coming up on the Township Hall. So here is the Township Hall, kind of echoing here, and with my just my GoPro picking up audio, I don't know how this is going to be. But we have a ballot box or two here. And then just some random furniture back here. A desk where they might have administered some of the meetings from. Another wood-burning stove. Seems quite commonplace here. Here is the one-room District Number 7 Lee 1869 schoolhouse. Now this is a really cool building to see, just to see how different things were. So look at that. Wood-burning stove to keep everything warm. Old wooden desks. Bookshelf. Chalkboards. With the cursive that you would expect that there would have been around this time. And the teacher's desk, conveniently holding an apple. So that's really cool. Look at that, guys. And some quill pens here with inkwells. Another old set of books here. This is a cool building. So here we have in a line the buildings we were just in, our Township Hall, Seamstress, Barber Shop, Blacksmith, Carpenter, and the Inn down there. Over here we have what was listed as the Municipal Building with an attorney at law sign up here, so an attorney on the top. And it's really cool old clock that used to, I guess, be downtown in Hastings before they moved it here, but unfortunately a lot of these buildings back here are closed off today, so I can't show you guys the bank, I can't show you guys the hardware store. I did get some brief footage of it yesterday when I was taking what I could get with my iPhone, so I'll try to put that footage here and hope I can narrate over it. But yeah, maybe I'll try to come back another day to get some of this, and we'll see. Back here we have the museum, and over on that hill back there is the church. The church is also closed. Here we are inside the general store. Now, I am not an expert, but it did appear that these were vintage artifacts behind the counter. It did not seem that anything in here was reproduction, which I thought was pretty cool, and I enjoyed having a chance to see what it would have been like in a general store back in this time. Here is the hardware store with what I think must have been drawers for different screws and other types of hardware, and just various knickknacks that you would have seen in a hardware store around this time. I'm not an expert, so I won't even try to comment on what any of this is, aside from the shovel. Here we are inside the bank, which I found particularly interesting considering how different it is from modern banks. I mean, look at how small this teller's area is, and the fact that you can just see the safe right back there. And on top of this was a lawyer's office. Here is some brief footage of some of the tractors that I recorded from the day prior. Now you can see that some of them were in varying states of repair, where some looked quite new even though they dated to around the 1950s, and then some looked like they've never been refurbished at all. And I'm not interested in farming or a fan of tractors, but I thought this was still pretty neat to see how things used to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed that tour. I tried to make it as interesting as I could. I'll try to do some voiceover as well with some interesting facts from the brochure that I got here, you know, because I obviously don't have all this committed to memory. It was interesting because I came out here expecting to shoot like a sunrise or a sunset, and it ended up being like a travel video, which is kind of cool. I mean, I like watching those, and it was really fun to film this to show you guys. And I did get some photos here, not sunrise or sunset because the park currently is closed during those hours, but we'll see what I got. And I may use Luminar AI to make some of the skies a little bit more interesting. So thanks for watching.